We have some exciting news for you today. We have an article coming up in AgriLife Today. And so we're going to share with you some of our interview questions. Joining me today is our presenter, Scott Youngblood, and the communications specialist for AgriLife Today, Karn Dingra. So welcome to both of you. Karn will be interviewing Scott to learn more about our program. Take it away, Karn.
Thanks, Lisa. Hi, Scott. I just have a few questions here for you to, kind of unwrap the AgriLife Tax Workshop and kind of get behind the scenes on this really important program that we offer to Texas residents. I guess can we start off with like sharing your first experience attending the AgriLife Tax Workshop? I understand that you were a student here, but you came to the tax workshop to kind of understand more about how the program can help you in your business, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time. I've been doing this quite a while, but back in the day, I got an ad in the mail, and they sent them out, a little brochure type thing. And so I started going to their seminars, and I really liked going to their seminars because the presenters at the time were very good and very engaging. And then that they gave different types of seminars. And what I mean by that was there'd be a general, like they would go over certain subjects, for the current tax year. And then they would have more specific. In particular, they had a guy who did partnership returns. He had a 2-day seminar on that. And then next year, he would have a 2-day seminar on S corporations. So you really got an in-depth um, knowledge of how to do these things. And so they had different programs like that, and it was really great. I mean, I enjoyed it, and when you're young, as much as you can learn, you want to go to things that will teach you, and it was very interactive. So I really enjoyed it. So that
Okay.
was how I got started going to those programs.
Great, great. Tax policy and tax, I guess, laws and regulations, they're not really static. They're always changing. So how
Yeah.
did the how did the workshop help you in your career when you were starting out?
Well, I mean and it's still changing today. That's one of the things this year we have a big change. But going to these workshops, what it helps is it helps keep you up to date. I mean, it teaches you what's going on, and then it also keeps you up to date. And and like I said, that I like the more interactive workshops because you have a question specific for your clients. You want to ask somebody, how do you handle this situation, and they answer it. And so it's very good in trying to keep you up to date on the current taxes because, as we all know, they change almost every year. And then like this year, we have a big change. So you really want to pay attention. So it does help. It helps you grow and it helps you learn so that, your whole goal is to turn around and provide a service to your clients. And so you want to be able to have the most up-to-date and accurate information that you can turn around and advise your clients on. And these seminars have done that over the years.
Okay. I know you're a former student. What does it mean to you to return as a presenter, as someone, teaching folks about tax policy and maybe some of your fellow Aggies?
Yeah, I went to Texas A&M. It was a few years ago. And no, I loved my education at A&M. It really helped me, one, just get an education, and two is preparing for life. And so, so my ability to turn around and teach people, I mean, I feel like I'm giving back. I've learned all this stuff all of these years, and now I want to help somebody else do the same thing. And so it's kind of an accomplishment. I can now give back to people. I can help fellow Aggies, fellow Texans, fellow anybody who wants to attend the seminar. So I really find my education was great, but now I have the ability to educate other people and help them out in the same way.
Right. We kind of hit on this earlier about, how the workshop helped you in your career, but is there anything else about the workshop that makes it really valuable for professionals? Um, uh, you know, advising their clients and whatnot about tax policy?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we try to get across, all the new tax laws and what's going on, but we're also trying to get across, one of the things we're trying to expand on is how to do things. You can read books all day long, but we're trying to make it so that I make my goal is to have it so that people can understand what they're doing when they're doing taxes. And so like this year, I mean, we're giving different types of workshops. We have our general workshop where it's kind of broad. I mean, we have specific topics. We're going to address this topic, that topic, and get more in depth on those. We have a small tax, business tax workshop with more for businesses. And then we're also we have an agriculture one that Catherine's going to give, which is directed to agriculture people. But we're also going to be doing I'm going to be doing more, a 1040 forms. How do you fill it out? Trying to be more how to teach people how to do things. We can learn stuff in textbooks all day long, but trying to take that tax law and put it onto a form, that's a whole different thing. And not everybody understands how to do that. So my goal is to get people to understand how to prepare tax returns for their clients.
Hey, um, how's the program changed or evolved since you first attended?
And I mean, that's a good question. It was great. When I first started going, like I said, this has been some years ago. They offered all these different programs, and then COVID came, and so COVID actually cut back on a lot of stuff because you couldn't do presenting, you couldn't do things, and so it kind of went down a little bit. And now we're taking the time and we're trying to make it come back. We're trying to be more specific, and what we're trying to do and making it, I mean, we're trying to make it better because what we're trying to do is we're taking things that we've heard, we've done evaluations, we ask people, what is it you want us to teach you? And so we've done these evaluations, and people have responded, and that's why we're going to do the individual IRS forms workshop because we want to be able to offer something that the people want. I mean, uh, we're trying to do that. We also use a learning rubric to help give a better quality workshop. And so we want to be more purposeful and more interactive on our teaching. We want to really build that up. And in our teaching, one thing we've been real conscious about the last couple of years is we're trying to give more examples, more applications, more how to. And what we do, we just don't tell you and show, here it is, and enjoy. We try to show you exactly how that works in examples. We have real life examples that we use. We go through them, so we say, okay, we talked about this subject. Now this is what it looks like. And so that's what our goal has been, is to make it actually a better program, come back from that COVID dip and build it back up into something that's more interactive to people and a better program for people to learn from.
Okay. Um, what are some of the, I guess, when folks sign up for this course and they actually attend, and what are some of the challenges or I guess the issues that they want, I guess, what
Addressed.
do they bring to the workshop? What are they trying to get out of the program, and what from the program is going to help them address it? I guess that what are they coming to? Why do they come and say, "Hey, I'm at this workshop because of XYZ"? I'm just curious about that. Yeah.
Most people, and you got to remember, we have a variety. We have younger participants and we have older participants, and so a lot of our older ones are looking more for updates.
Okay.
Like you know, tell me about the big beautiful bill. What changed? What stayed the same? What changed? So for some of our people, it's giving them those updates. That's what they're coming to hear. And then, and so others, they're trying to get a more of a broad understanding of tax law in general. And so that, so we, we try to address that. That's like when we do our general workshop and our small business workshop. And then others need more of a step by step approach. And so that's so for those, that's why we're now offering, like I said earlier, we listened to what people wanted. So now we're offering, forms workshops. So we try to address everybody's needs. And so not everybody comes for the same reason. So we try to address all those different reasons. And like I said, most of the older people, it's an update. Tell me what changed. Tell me what's different. I already know how to do the forms, but tell me what I need to change on the forms. And so that's what we try to address.
Mhm. Are there any tax issues or topics that you're most excited to present this year? And I guess you kind of hit on the big beautiful bill and other
Yeah.
issues, but are there any that are especially important right now besides the big beautiful bill? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, um, in everything we're going to teach this year, we're going to integrate that big beautiful bill.
Okay.
Because, like I said, people come for that update, and that's going to be the thing. And not everything changed with the big beautiful bill, but some things that were supposed to change aren't changing. So we need to advise on literally everything this year, because tell them, nope, this is not going to change as planned. This is going to stay the same, or this is going to change, whatever that is. So the big beautiful bill is the big thing.
Mhm.
But we're going to integrate that. Like I said, we had our general income tax workshop, which have different subjects. And so when we're discussing those subjects, we're going to discuss the big, beautiful bill changes. And the same thing with our small business tax seminar. It's more for businesses, but how did the big, beautiful bill impact those? And there are impacts, like the Section 199A. I mean, there's things that happened that's going to impact small businesses. And then again, our forms in our agriculture, there's changes in agriculture that we need to address, and then on our forms, what's going to change on those. So we're going to try to integrate that, and that is the big thing this year is that big beautiful bill.
Okay. Um, yeah, this other question, this next question, it kind of hit on the dynamic aspect of American tax policy. But I mean, I guess how do you, as presenters and teachers, how do you keep pace with the frequent changes in these policies and regulations? What are you as practitioners and as instructors doing to be prepared to better instruct your students and the folks out there who need this help?
Well, that's a good question. It's a challenge. I'll admit to that. Uh, I've been doing this a long time, and it's always changing. You're always trying to keep ahead of the game. So
Mhm.
what we try to do is we try to educate ourselves, obviously, ahead of time. I actually attended a seminar to educate myself. Our other presenters, we get together, we talk to each other, we provide feedback with each other, so that we're always trying to make sure that we're all on the same page and getting updated. So it is a challenge because um, we've all got to get updated on it. And so we actually, I mean, be honest with you, it's a team approach. It's not like I just do this. We all try to get together so that we're all learning this information, so that when we're presenting it, we all can do that and be productive for the participant. So it's kind of we learn from each other, we build on our strengths, and even when we teach, we do that. We try to help each other out in the presentations, because I know things, I've done things more than someone else has, but then they've done things that I don't do. So it helps to go back and forth. I mean, I've been doing this a long time. I mean, I'm always learning, I have to admit. But we try. That's what we do. I mean, we try to prepare ahead of time. Like I said, I go to seminars. We all try to do this. And it's a team approach. We work together to try to make sure that we are up to date for everybody out there.
Okay. I only have a few more questions, so I won't keep you too long. But for professionals who take this course and or just general lay folks who want to learn more about tax rules and policy, I mean, how do you make the material approachable for them and to kind of digest it better, if you will?
It's not easy. I didn't mention, and I actually teach tax at University of Houston Clear Lake as a professor, and it's a challenge to try to get this information across to people, especially those that don't really know it. And those that do know it, sometimes it's a challenge to get them to understand, well, what exactly how did it change? So I try to make the information, I try to present it in a way, an easier way, so that people can understand it. And that's part of why I like the interactive part of everything, is because that allows them. So if I say something and they don't understand it and they can ask me, then I can present it either in a different way or a better way. My goal is to have them learn the information. I already hopefully know it. It's not for me to know, it's for them to understand. So I try to, if I say it in such a way that people can understand it. My goal is for them to be able to leave and apply that information I've given them. So if I don't accomplish that, I mean, that's what I want to do. And we put the learning together and we also ask questions while we're presenting information.
Mhm.
So we do polling questions. We'll ask, okay, so um, we just went over this. So here's the question: is it A, B, or C? And so we try to get them to answer so that, and if they answer wrong, obviously we need to go back over that to make sure that they're understanding and doing that. So we do, as we're doing the seminar, we are trying to ask questions to make sure that we're all going along at the same pace. Okay. And we also use a lot of examples. I mentioned that earlier. We try to use examples to clarify the information. And as I said, we encourage questions because we want them to learn something. So that's what we try to do with that.
Okay. This next question is just broadly about Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. I mean, just kind of curious about how it's shaped your professional journey. I know you mentioned you're a former student, but um, you know, Extension has a broader goal of reaching out to every Texan. So I was just curious about that.
Well, we want to get the information out to as many people as we can.
Mhm.
Like I said, it's not just A&M, it's the state of Texas. It's anybody that wants to listen. And so we want to give a workshop that allows people to understand tax law, understand how to do their job so they can do a better job with their clients. And so like I said, our goal is to and it helps. I try to grow in this whole thing too, and so I try to make it so that we can communicate all of that information out to people in the best way possible.
Okay. Um, this is my last question. What advice would you give to a young professional or someone just trying to learn more about tax laws and use this class to further their career aspirations or set up a business or whatnot? I mean, just can you broadly, from a high level, kind of give me your advice, if you will?
Yeah. What I tell, like, I mentioned I'm also a professor, and I always try to tell my students, learning doesn't stop when you get the degree. That's just a step, it's a stepping stone. It's a building block that you use. And so what you always want to do is you always want to keep learning. You always want to grow. Go to these seminars. One of the reasons why we forgive them is so that it allows people to continue their education. I mean, we call it continuing education for a reason. And so we want to continue this and always strive to learn and always strive to for a better understanding in the job that you do. Like I said, I've done this a long time and I learn something new every year. Don't ever think you know it all because trust me, when it comes to taxes, you don't. And so it's always great to go to these seminars. Always want to better yourself. You want to have a better understanding. So you want to grow with these things. And so you want to attend. And like I said, I started when I was young so that I could get a better understanding on how to do things. And that's our goal, is to get people to learn how to do this, go through their life, and keep building on what you already know.
Okay. Well, I mean, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. On that note, I will hand it back to Lisa.
Thank you.
Yeah.
First of all, let me say thank you, Karn, for giving us this opportunity to share with everyone about our program. Thank you, Scott, for taking the time to meet with us this morning. Scott is one of 3 presenters that we have in our program. If you'd like to know more about them, you're welcome to look at our website. We have their biographical information on our website. If you're a tax practitioner that needs continuing education credits, either for the IRS, the Texas State Board of Public Accountancy, the Certified Financial Planner, or the State Bar of Texas, I invite you to join us at one of our workshops. As Scott already mentioned, we have a general income workshop. We have a small business tax workshop. We have 3 different IRS form workshops, and we have one on agricultural issues. So we would love to have you join us. If you have more questions about our program, you may contact me, Lisa Patterson, Program Manager. My phone number is 979-393-0888. Thanks again for joining us today for this interview.